31st of August today, and it's just gone midday, and I've been here at Eakrin for about 20 minutes. 10 Red Admirals have gone south. 11 Red Admirals have gone south in the time that I've been here, including 4 in the last 3 minutes. I'm quite surprised at the movement there is today from Red Admirals. It is quite breezy, which is why I'm stood here and not at the back or on top of Red Hill. More exposed up there. They seem to be coming, as they often do, in quite a narrow sort of corridor. Migrating butterflies tend to follow linear features such as hedgerows or tracks. Might sound daft and fanciful, but it's true. And I can tell you it's true because I've watched it for years and years. And the current total is now 13 at 12:06. And here's another one just going through up and over the tree. And here comes another one behind it, up over the tree. So we're now on 15. Hopefully you can pick them up and my big head's not in the way, as I suddenly realised. But that's pretty much the line that they're following. They're heading just left as I stand at this grass track and the hedgerow that runs over the hill from Wellow, and they're about 20 yards or so into the field. There's some trees here. There's a clump of trees, because this is a high point in the area. There's a clump of trees here, so the butterflies, as they come along, they're low initially over the field, and then they slowly start to gain heights because they can see these trees and then go straight over the top of them. Seeing them coming over Sherwood Forest into open fields in just that manner. So now we're on 15. And they're coming through quite often in twos. There have been, the last 6 or 7 have been in twos, or close together. You can sometimes get loose groups of half a dozen or so on really good days, but we shall see how this progresses. And going on what I've seen, this is probably going to be the best day for many a year, and it's very nearly caught me out. There's another Red Admiral just going south. It's going above the skyline, and it's going round the trees. Single Red Admiral south at 12:15. I used to use a little notebook, but then I thought, well, I have a little handheld tape recorder, a digital recorder. Why not use that? That's what you bought it for. And there's another one just coming across the field, up over the skyline, look. Hopefully you can pick that out, up and over the trees and away. There's another Red Admiral just roughly coming through. It's gone more southwest. It's quite interesting in the fact that as soon as it clouds over, even if it's just one lump of cumulus cloud, that curtails movement. That was very noticeable when Dillis and I were counting painted ladies in the huge migration, the spring migration from a number of years ago. I can't remember the actual year offhand, but we're overdue another one. And we had hundreds going through that afternoon. Glorious afternoon, some cumulus cloud. As soon as the sun was covered up with cloud, we actually saw the butterflies dropping in to the cornfield, the growing corn. What a spring that was. Painted Lady does that every so many years, or every few decades. You get a massive migration, and that was 3 or 4 days of just pure magic, counting them. Red Admirals are more reliable, really, in a way. They always occur, although it wasn't much of any migration last year, and the great conservation organisations are all now saying that the Red Admiral overwinters here. It does, but it still goes south in autumn. And that southerly migration starts in August. September and possibly October should be even better, but they're almost certainly going to throw in another brood a lot of Red Admirals, and in fact the females that are going south have probably already been mated and will be laying as they move south. Well, now the sun's come out again, so hopefully we may well get some more Red Admirals, and they've all been that side. I've had only 1 or 2 come that side of the grass track that runs down towards where I've got the car parked, and the farm machinery is getting annoying, and our planes getting annoying. I do like my peace and quiet. Bit of bird migration with 3 swallows above me, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You may well be able to see 9, 10 further on, 11. There's another one. There's more to come. You can probably hear them. There's another 2 going to the right of me. Oh, there's 3 more. So that's 14, 15. Oh, and a Red Admiral just going through. 15, there's another 3 swallows here, look. Some more to follow, another one coming through. Bird migration's wonderful as well. Absolutely wonderful. You get a good day visible migration watching. You can't beat it. I'm sorry, bird watchers, you can't. It beats any rarity. It's one of the most marvellous spectacles you can have, even in an inland county like Nottinghamshire. And I'd best make a note of that Red Admiral. Very pleasantly warm. Ah, another 2, 3. A speckled, oh, small white. 3 Red Admirals. That might have just made us 30 for this hour. Started at 11:45. Red Admiral south at 12:44. That makes 30 for this hour. That one pretty much came up the grass track. And I've not many minutes ago had a group of 4 go over, 3 all at once, closely followed by a 4th. I'm, as you can probably gather, immensely enthusiastic about migration. It was about birds. That's what I did for 17 years in the equine area. But equally as enthusiastic as regards Lepidopterous migration. That's the migration and movement, both southerly and northerly, of butterflies and moths. And not many do it. Not many stand and monitor butterflies going through. And I still think that a lot of people regard it completely as fanciful as another Red Admiral comes and goes through up over the trees, making 31. But it is very, very real. I keep saying it, but nobody seems to listen. I suppose it's not everybody's ideal way to spend several hours just stood there. You can sit down and do it quite easily and count butterflies moving through, but you get it on a good day, a day like this. 35 Red Admirals going through in an hour is, for Nottinghamshire, exceptional. It's a great, when everything's in place, the butterflies are there, the correct weather's there. Here comes another one. Now they've shifted more to that side. The last three have been that side of the grass track. I might treat you to a different camera angle. Trouble is, I'll probably be stood in the middle of it. We're just approaching 1 o'clock, or 1300 hours. Losing the sun a little bit. There's a bit of cumulus cloud that the sun's behind at the moment, but there is a frontal system which is coming up through the UK from the west and southwest, and that is visible behind camera. But I've had another 2 so far this hour. I don't know how long I'll stop for, because I think that movement's going to stop certainly once we get a veil of cloud. But the last one came through at 12:57. But even so, this chance visit has paid off greatly. Still think there'll be some more, but it's just nice after many visits, more visits than what I've showed on this channel in the last sort of 2 years. But at least this visit has paid off, with 30 going through in that first hour. We just need a bit more sun, but I think sun is going to be at a premium for this hour. I think we might struggle. And the Red Admiral's skirting, and there's another one nearer, just coming in, going up over the skyline. In fact, there's 2 with that one, so there's 3 there altogether. That's 13 for this hour, 3 going through at the same time. How well you've seen them, I have no idea. We've got a bit of sun at the moment. And the movement certainly does stop when that sun goes in. If you ever decide that you want to have a go at counting migrant butterflies, you need somewhere with a decent aspect. You don't need to see miles, but as long as you can see like 100 or 200 yards either side of you, preferably with fields like this, or where it is good seeing and butterflies are easily visible. If it's a paler background like a harvested cereal field, that's ideal. Or if it's bare soil like this, that's great too. You don't need binoculars. Red Admirals are distinctive enough to be seen from quite a distance. I've hardly used my binoculars today, but on good days you may want to count as far as possible. So you need a decent vista. Any open field is good, any open situation. You don't always need countryside. You can go and sit on a park bench and just look low across the grass. You don't need to be standing. You can be sat down and far more comfortable as long as you can see for about 100 meters low over a field. And that's all you need to do, is just count any butterflies and what species they are as they go through. It's a very simple process, but you can also record the migration of butterflies and of moths like silver wise just from the comfort of your own garden, and that's simply by doing a count within a certain hour of the day or during the day. Just count what species you see and how many of them. If you do that day after day for long enough, eventually you'll start to see trends, and in the autumn, around about sort of August and September, you'll be able to see when peak numbers were of butterflies moving through. So you don't always have to come out into the countryside. Butterfly migration can be done from wherever you can see for at least 100 yards, and preferably not by standing there looking into somebody's house. But the more open the vista, the better it is. And if you've got a hedge or something that runs north to south, all the better. Sometimes hedges, looking along hedges that are running east to west, is also excellent, because the butterflies literally have to hop over them as they fly through. But it's something worth trying if you can just pick a good day. It's well worth the while having a go. But what a great visit it's been. Ended up with approximately 45 Red Admirals in an hour and a half.